Hi, my name is Deanne, and I'm a professional soap maker who has been making soap for the last 20 years. I'm a member of the Oak Park Women's Exchange, and today I'm going to show you how to make blender soap in the comfort of your own home. Start out with the most important thing is safety. So before you even start, make sure that your surface is covered. I just used an old garbage bag, nothing expensive or something you can't go out and buy. Make sure you're wearing some type of protective eyewear and old clothing, hopefully apron, and plastic gloves. I'm going to tell you a little bit about soap making. I do cold process soap making, which is basically the combination of lye and oils. There is no other way to make soap, no matter what anybody tells you. It's that combination. The process is called saponification. That is, when you mix your lye with your oils, it produces a completely different substance. You just need to take a little bit of care, and with a blender, and I have this crummy blender I bought at a garage sale, and a few things from your home, you can make a really good bar of soap. Let me talk to you a little bit about the oils. The oils is really what makes your soap. You can make soap out of any kind of oil. You can make soap out of bacon fat and lye. It doesn't make a difference, but depending on your oils is what kind of bar of soap you're going to get. I like to use these 3 different types of oils. They are easy to come by. You're not going to have to go somewhere far to find them, and they're fairly reasonably priced. We're going to use coconut oil. We're going to use castor oil, and we're going to use olive oil. I chose these 3 oils because each one of these oils has a different property. Most soap makers who are experienced will make a combination of different oils. For example, if I used only olive oil in my soap making, you would get a very nice hard bar soap, but the lather would be very creamy and very almost smooth. And most Americans do not like that. They want to see bubbles, they want to lather up. That is where coconut oil comes in. Coconut oil produces a hard bar soap that produces lots and lots of lather and is good for your skin. Now, if I only used coconut oil and nothing else in my soap, it would have a very drying effect. Not to tell you that if you use coconut oil outside of soap making, it is very moisturizing. But when it goes through the process, it can dry your skin out. So I have combined coconut oil with olive oil, and then my little secret is castor oil. Castor oil is very thick, but it's so rich, it does such unbelievable things to your skin. You just need a little bit, and it just makes the lather, it just makes a decadent bar soap. So today, we are going to do a soap using these 3 types of oil. To begin your journey in making your handmade blender soap, you're going to start with water. I tend to use distilled water. I think it works a little bit better. You do not have to. You're going to take a measuring cup. You're going to fill it up 6 ounces, and then add your lye. Now this has to be lye, 100% lye. I bought this at the hardware store. Do not get anything unless it says 100% lye on it. Drano is not 100% lye. Don't pick up Drano, read the ingredients. If there's anything else but lye in there, you cannot use it for soap making. So we're going to take our lye, and please use with caution. I always have a bottle of white vinegar just in case there is a spill that will neutralize it immediately. Okay, the recipe I've given to you calls for 4 tablespoons of lye. You always add your lye to your water. Never add your water to your lye. Think about it as it is water in the lake and lye is snowing. I have done that, made that mistake, and you do not want to do it. Everything just explodes. Well, it doesn't explode, but it makes a mess. For purposes of making this video, I have already measured out our lye. So we are taking it and we are adding it to the water. I do that slowly. And then you're going to stir it until it dissolves. Do it in a well-ventilated place. You don't want the fumes, you're not doing a whole lot, but the fumes are strong. So if you have a area with some windows open, that usually works the best. So keep stirring it, and eventually it will end up clear. And I always do that first and then just set it aside. So for this recipe, we are going to use, as I explained earlier, 3 different types of oil. I've broken it down into 3 parts. My olive oil, we're going to use 8 ounces, which I have measured here. Just pour in 8 ounces into a measuring cup. That's all you need to do. And then pour it into your blender. Normally when I use coconut oil, it's in a solid form, and I always have to melt it down in the microwave and let it cool to room temperature. This is the way you would buy it. If you look around, you can get some coconut oil for pretty reasonable prices. This was $12. If I bought this somewhere else, it might have been $25. So if you want to use coconut oil, look around. You can find it a lot cheaper from one place to another. But today, I'm going to use liquid coconut oil, which is a little bit easier. And that means you don't have to melt it, you don't have to worry the temperature, and it has exactly the same effect on your bar of soap. So for this recipe, I am going to use 6 ounces of liquid coconut oil. Measured on here where it came up to 6 ounces. And then, as we talked about before, I'm going to use 2 ounces of castor oil. This is the golden egg. It's going to make your soap so soft and delicious you won't want to ever stop using handmade soap. So we add that into our blender and then give it a real quick blend. Now always put a rag on the top. You never know if the top's not secure. You never know what could happen. Better play it safe than sorry. So put your rag on here and just give it a quick blend. And all that does is just mix your oils, incorporate your oils together so there's a little less mixing when you add your lye. Now, I want to add some fragrance. I could use essential oils, but today I choose to use a fragrance oil. A fragrance oil is not necessarily 100% natural. Sometimes when you make soap, it's very difficult to use essential oils just because of the price range. I like a lot of the fragrance oils, and I tend to use them a lot in my soap making. For a pound of soap, usually use an ounce of fragrance, and that's 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to add my 2 tablespoons of fragrance, which happens to be Lavender Breeze. And when you're making soap, you tend to want to also color it depending on the smell. So if I was making lemon soap, I might want to just have yellow color. If I was making blueberry soap, it would be a blue. So today I'm going to use purple. And this is just a little pigment that I diluted in some water. You can use as much or as little as you want. And I'm going to put that much to start in because that's usually a squirt or 2 will usually do it. You can always add more afterwards, it's not a problem. Again, I'm going to give it a quick whirl with just those 3 things in it. And I see my color's a little weak. I like it a little bit more purple. So this is the perfect time then to add another dropful of purple coloring. And you can go ahead and give it a quick blend again. You don't necessarily have to, but I will. Okay, now that I love the color, I am going to add the lye. And this is probably the most dangerous, not dangerous, it's the part that you're going to have to be really careful about. Until the lye and the oil have mixed together and gone through the chemical process of saponification, it can be very caustic. So just be careful. I've never had a problem. Most people I know have never had a problem, but I always say better safe than sorry. So I'm going to add our mixed lye and water, which is now clear, slowly into the blender. Put the lid back. I'm going to cover it up. Now I'm going to blend it for about 1 minute. You can see it's beginning to mix and it's beginning to start saponifying. I'm going to stop and I want to just stir it down. Again, be careful when you open it up. Just want to stir the sides down. Now look at the difference. This looks almost like pudding, and that is what come to trace. When it comes to trace, it looks like pudding, and it means your oils and your lye are mixing together, and it's just about ready to pour. I'm gonna give it one quick it carefully and pour it. This is my mold. You can use pretty much anything for a mold. I think all this plastic stuff is perfect, especially if you're just going to use it at home. So take your mold, you don't have to prepare this, and you're going to put your soap in there. So you can see how thick this has gotten. Put it all in there. I wouldn't recommend really using a lot of expensive kitchen equipment. I usually have a set of equipment I use for soap making that never ever sees my kitchen. Take your soap, it smells fantastic. Spread it into your mold. I tend to pound it down to make sure there's no bubbles in it. And then cover it with some saran wrap. And place a towel on top of it. Do not disturb this for 24 hours. This is the time it takes for complete saponification to happen. Your actual product will become soap. So through the magic of cameras, I have a soap that I made before. Same recipe. This is what it looks like when you pull it out of your form. It's a hard bar soap, a pretty big bar soap. After 24 hours, you're going to take it out. And that is when you really should cut it. You can use anything. You can use a knife. I think this is really pretty. And just come down on it. And cut it into whatever shapes you want. But it's not the end. You have to put this somewhere, and it's going to have to stay for 4 weeks. And that is the time it takes for your soap to cure. And you don't want to use it before then. It's going to be too soft. It may be a teeny bit caustic. Not really, because at that point, 99.9% of the lye is gone. But that is the process of cold process soap making. You have to let it cure. So when you have your fantastic soap and you take it in the shower, you are going to know that you made it, and you made it with lots of love, and you are going to never want to use anything but your own homemade soap again. For any more questions you have about soap making, you can visit our website at www.opwe.org. I hope you had a great time and you make your first bar of soap. It's not hard. Give it a try and you will love it.